All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our coverage of Night City Wire Live. It's going to be taking place in just a couple of minutes here. We've been looking forward to this for some time. It's great to see everybody in the live chat. Just got out of a conversation with a whole bunch of our community members on the Discord server. If you're not on the Discord server, why the heck aren't you on the Discord server? It's a great place. We had a ridiculously fun conversation about goats and tentacles. I mean, you're missing out on some quality content if you're not on the Discord server. Just saying. All right, I'm going to jump over to the live feed of the CD Projekt Red Twitch channel, which is going to be, broadcasting Night City Wire right away here. So, I'm going to be commenting. That's kind of the whole point of why we're here. But, of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to want to listen to. So, during the actual show, I may be quiet for long periods of time. But anyway, we are expecting to see new gameplay today. We are expecting to see a new trailer, and we're going to be getting some info about Braindance, which I'm very curious about. I'm very curious to see how Braindance is going to work in the game, what that's going to, what that's going to look like in game. So, and we do have a bunch of community members in one of the voice rooms on our Discord channel, kind of watching the show together. So if you want to get in on that, you can do that. Now, you may notice that I'm the only voice here right now. Unfortunately, Cyb's not able to make it. He's working or overthrowing foreign governments, one of the two. I can't remember which one he said he was doing today. But sometimes they're one and the same. But, all right, so I'm going to actually just see how the volume levels are here. We've got about a minute to go. And I just got a message from Cyb for all of you. He says he wishes he could be here, but he is currently fighting several viruses and is hell-bent on world domination. I don't think that means he's sick, at least not physically, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing today. All right. Game Note says, wish I could be in the voice room, but I'm at work. Well, we're glad you're here for the live chat anyway. Paulie's 911 says, took my break now. All right, 20 seconds left. So yes, like I said, new gameplay, new trailer. By the way, after the show today, like after Night City Wire's over, I have heard but not confirmed that there's going to be a Q&A after the 25-minute show. Whenever CD Projekt's live stream is done, I'm going to be jumping into a call with the Cyberpunk 2077 community podcast crew, the Mad Queen, Last Known Meal, and the Neon Arcade, so stick around on the channel for that. But anyway, let's hear it. I'm going to shut up now for a minute, see what's going on here.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red, where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some Braindance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started. It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that, our lead quest designer Pavel Sasko will be joining us, because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
All right, here we go.
Love this town, the city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
City like any other, just bigger.
Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here.
The major leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them.
But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything.
Unless you catch a bullet.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
You know, you can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, A pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Job's to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
He's lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City.
Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Dex, what the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you?
Fuck.
So the trailer
Yes.
contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just
Pavel.
saw?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands. As a player, you are meeting Jackie. Jackie's your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you will have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle.
This is cool.
This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in the different families, and they are traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper Doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So Ripper Docs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Ripper Docs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4,
so they're talking about, they're just talking about the console upgraded versions. Just want to read some comments here. Lady Reaver says, Adam Smasher is my husband. Haha, why are you lying?
We'll have more details on that.
Funky Moin says, you just saw it. Player gets shot and Johnny emerges. Yes.
Look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat. There is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while.
Oh boy.
We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now. Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
2022. We have to wait 2 years.
Hi, my name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole. Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the dream team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
All right, well that's pretty awesome.
And now it is time to show you some gameplay.
Anything from the same studio that brought us Kill la Kill is okay with me.
When you play Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Plan's simple. do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast.
Oh, that was
They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high.
That weird close-up. I was like, what the hell is this guy?
Okay, on you go.
Down! Everybody! On the ground! I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Now! Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, yeah, hey... now! Before I blow your fucking head off!
So this is in a Braindance scene.
Ah!
Yeah.
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
That was too much. Could feel the guy's pain, his stress, his hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything set up? Let's switch over to editing mode.
Editing mode. Okay.
I'll sever the link to the BD Roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So, analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel the need. Then you use the editor console to unpause. Try it.
This is bizarre.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. So and we sell the BD to those psycho freaks.
The entire scene recreated from the original person's memories.
Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind. Roll it back to the top.
Are you serious?
Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't be creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning.
So this is like the tutorial. What can you actually do with this stuff in the game?
Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD Roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks. And remember,
okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
Pack of 6, case of Brosif, and a couple of zappers.
Okay. We have a deal today on 2 flavors.
Wow.
Cuddy and surf and everybody!
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously. Like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Net!
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw. Stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God!
No, it's not third person trick here, and it's just out of perspective from the like this thug is perspective
See that?
of the person
They
who
shot him
took
and
the
he
recording.
never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter.
Is this how it works?
You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it. His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along.
Oh, jeez.
Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD.
Yeah, out of
like
body,
this.
basically.
BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe.
neat.
It's not just something
that's
used for
fantastic.
adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's two sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe, and then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of Braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording, and it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the Braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this Braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the Braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that Braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out, what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now, you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience to put them into the quests that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures. And they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. so yeah, well, you may
nice.
find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have.
That was
read
pretty
some
awesome.
of the
So we saw some full reflections there. That's really awesome, and I think that exploring the stories of past characters in the Cyberpunk universe could be a fantastic use of Braindance if they choose to use that way.
And they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon.
That's not over.
And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
I can't believe it's been... That was full 25 minutes already. And yes, more episodes coming. So that should be really interesting. Can't wait to see more from this. You can get those free goodies from GOG.com. It's a little complicated the way they've set it up to download. Oh, they're just done the stream now. Okay. And now we're getting an ad, so let's just kill the volume there for a minute. That was amazing. Okay, so we got some footage of the Badlands. Now, all of the footage in the new trailer is from the prologue, and so still wondering if Jackie's death that we saw in the one trailer is previews go. I'm getting confused. My brain is getting broken. What is this? This is the Cyberpunk 2077 after show. All right, I'm just going to keep this muted for the time being. I am going to be jumping in with the Cyberpunk 2077 community podcast crew as soon as I see them starting to appear in our voice room there. Yeah, so Jackie's death, I'm wondering, is that like an unskippable event in the game, or was it just something does it depend on a quest outcome, or was it just something they came up with for the trailer? Yeah, but the Edgerunners anime, I mean that's super awesome that there's going to be a Cyberpunk anime that they've been involved with from Studio Trigger too, which is great. And I really enjoyed Kill la Kill from that studio, so that's fantastic. Can I mute that stream? Is it not muted? Hang on one second. Can you... Okay. All right, sorry. I don't know what's going on. Everything's muted on my computer, so I don't even have, like, the actual Twitch stream is muted, so I don't know what the issue is there. Anyway, right, so where was I? Oh, yes, Edge Runners anime. That's going to be really cool. It's too bad it's not coming out till 2022, though. We got to wait. They just love making us wait, don't they? They just love making us wait. Okay, Time Bean. Yeah, and then, so the Braindance. Now, that was fantastic. I love that concept. I think if they have a lot of different scenarios that you can explore in that with with the Braindance from, a variety of characters' perspectives, you can have some fun ones, some that are part of quests, things like that. Maybe some that explore the historical characters in the universe. I think that's a fantastic tool that you can use for doing storytelling in this world. But also then that editor mode where you can pull sort of like out of body and view things from an outside perspective, and scan little details that maybe you didn't notice when you were in the first person perspective of the character, but things that were recorded that they didn't necessarily consciously observe, and then use that for solving crimes and things like that. That's fantastic. Like, that is, I think that's a really fun way of doing things. Was not expecting that at all, and I think that's just going to add so much to this game. It's like a little mini game almost, but it's going to be like an integral part of the game. And knowing them, so I'm sure it's going to have some story, some story usage as well as just some fun usage. So let's see here what's going on in the chat. Funky says, I wonder if the player has access to his own Braindance, exit a conversation, then go back in to look at background stuff. That would be super awesome. That would be amazing. Yeah, I would love that. Let's see here. PD recorded sex scenes. Sun glares. Sorry, don't fully understand. But yeah, there's, like she said, it's, what did she say? it's for flogging the log. Yes, that's probably the predominant. I mean, if it works like the internet works in our day, 99.999% of Braindance recordings are all going to be highly X-rated. Ian's saying louder. I can't go louder. I'm maxed out here, so I mean you might have to turn the volume up on your end. All right, what else? Also some glimpses of the Badlands, some other views of gameplay there. There's going to be a lot to go through, and I just know I'm going to be sitting down with Cyb to go through it frame by frame, probably, to talk about stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I wonder how often they're planning to do these Night City Wire episodes, and I wonder how many of them they're going to be. I wonder if they're going to continue after the game has been released. Don't know the answer to those questions. Crazy Joyce says, okay, one question. I didn't understand who punched a bullet into our actor's head. It was his buddy who sent him into the store. It was his own companion. That was the ultimate outcome of that one. The guy that hands you the gun before you go into the store to rob it. He sneaks around the other way, and then as you're leaving, punches you in the back of the head. And then, but you can't see him because he's in shadow. But there's a camera above the door, and so if you do like a special scan on the monitor that's beside the cashier, then you identify that, oh, that was his own Chumba, as they said it. Also, meeting Johnny, is that the first time you see him? Good question. Yeah, it's hard to say. But as I think it was Funky Moin that pointed out earlier, shot in the head and then Johnny appears. Yeah, we did have the shot of Dex shooting you there, and that's presumably then after that you're going to end up in the junkyard. And then Now, I thought the first shot of Johnny, or the first appearance of Johnny, would be him waking you up in the junkyard, and that may still be. Let's see. He seemed very shocked to see the player. Looks like the intro scene it could be, but I mean, there could be some editing magic happening there that's pulling things out of sequence. All right. Spaz Muffin says, I'd be interested in what the Guns Blazing solo approach to that mission is. Which mission are you talking about, Spaz Muffin? Lady Reaver says, I think he says F. He says F if you're the corpo. That's how he reacts. Yeah, maybe. Funky says, no, Johnny doesn't take over. He's a companion who's invisible to everyone. To the main character that has as much voice recorded as the main player. Yeah, so he hangs around you. Nobody else can see him, but you can see him because he's connected or implanted somehow in that chip that gets put in your head. So, as in getting it or Johnny being activated. So, I mean, V comes in with the, when he, in the other story trailer that we saw a while back, when he comes into Dex Deshawn's apartment, he presumably he's got the chip in one of his slots. I think, is that even part of, no, I don't have that, queued up. The Braindance mission. You missed a few bits of that scene. Oh, gotcha. Well, when you're in the Braindance, it's pre-recorded in terms of like what the initial recording that the character sees. Like it was actually a recording of a thug going into a shop or whatever to rob it. And so I don't know how much your skill, like your play style, character traits, that kind of thing. I don't know how much that's going to affect that kind of a mission, because once you go into the Braindance, you're seeing something that's already pre-recorded. So that seems pretty set. Yeah, so I don't know if it would make a difference at that point. Like, I don't think you're controlling the character as you're, during that initial scene where it's first person, you're going into the store, you do the robbing, and then you're walking out and get punched in the back of the head. I don't think the player's in control at that point. You're in control when you pull into sort of the out-of-body mode, the editor mode as they called it, and are floating around the scene, pausing, fast-forwarding, rewinding. That's when you're in control. So, so V has the chip. Something has to activate Johnny on the chip, whether it be an attempted hack or getting shot, etc. Could go many ways. Yeah, it seems to be when you get shot. That's what people are saying. I mean, for a lot of detail, there's some details that we won't have till we actually play the game. Braindances in a standing room scale VR would be mildly terrifying. Yes. Yes, if they eventually did like a VR mode of this game and doing the Braindances, it'd be almost a real Braindance. All right, I'm going to hop into the chat here with the Cyberpunk 2077 community podcast crew, and I see that the Mad Queen's in here, so as soon as she's ready, I'm sure she'll start talking to me. Yeah, so am I supposed to be muted there? Okay, I'm going to actually mute myself there. I don't know if I may have accidentally had just gone through on the Mad Queen's live stream. Anyway, let's see, what else do we have? Spaz Muffin says it would be cool if, as a solo, you can work out how the guy dies from the method, and the tech builds work it out from what was shown. Yeah, that would be neat. If different skill sets offer you different kinds of insight in the Braindance, that would be awesome. One moment as I'm going to mute myself and just type something to Mad Queen here. Okay, she wants to wait till the rest of the crew is there before we get into the group conversation, and that's totally fine. All right. Dark Infinity says, I heard Johnny gets activated in the middle of a massive dump. Why would he need to do that, though? He's like a hologram computer program. So, Terror K, I definitely think there will be cases where there's multiple ways and types of evidence clues to find when you're in the Braindance. Yes. Yes, agree. Knowing them, that'll be the way they do it. Probably be multiple ways to figure it out. And I wonder if you'll, as a player, be able to figure out in ways that the game developers didn't even account for. Ladies Man 727 should have been 30 minutes of raw gameplay. Yeah, unfortunately not, but we did get to see some stuff, and there are more episodes of this coming, and that Braindance thing. I mean, that's an aspect of gameplay that I think is, I don't know, that's kind of that's mind blowing to me that they've added that level of sort of a, I don't want to call it a mini game, but a game mechanic, a game within a game, kind of at that level. Is pretty awesome. Give us a character creation demo. Yeah, hopefully they will. Well, let's see. Dark Infinity says, well, the walls of reality finally closed in. Time to go to work, a.k.a. Slavelandia. Well, take care. Have a good day. Let's see. I'm going to... Okay, I had this queued up. I'm going to actually, just so it's not just a still image on the screen, I'm going to bring up some gameplay here. This is from the deep dive. So, you've seen this all before. But, just to have something interesting going on the screen while we're waiting for the post-show to start. Now, he is actually... there is a live interview going on right now with Philip Weber, the senior quest designer for CD Projekt Red. You know what? I'm gonna briefly tune into this. See if we can grab some more info before we move on here. So I'm gonna bring it back to live stream and then bring up the volume here.
I would say it is really in depth. Like we're always saying, you know, Cyberpunk, we want to make a true proper RPG of the future, and part of that is we want to give you as much freedom as possible. So, you know, you can create a character that looks exactly like you want him to look like. You can choose your body, you can choose your voice, you can choose details like piercings, scars, how your body looks like. So we want to offer a lot of stuff up front, but then the thing is, since we're making an RPG, we also want to offer a lot for fans of RPGs. So you, of course, you know, at the start of the game, you'll be able to choose your base attributes that you can then build upon throughout the game. And I can go into a little bit of detail there when it comes to how deep it goes. So
sure,
as an example,
I'm sure we'd love to hear. Yes, yes.
All right. So as an example, you have your intelligence attribute, and that as an example would help you a lot with, let's say, net running. So if you want to play a really good hacker. So you can, of course, get that attribute, but then within that attribute, you have perks. And these perks have multiple trees where you can especially now specialize what kind of netrunner you want to play. So these perks, as an example, might make you be able to take over cameras and do lots of different things. And I think we added so much choice there because we have this fluid class system where basically you're not supposed to, or you're not, you know, stuck to playing a single class. You can just choose the attributes, skills, perks, wherever you want. And on top of that, because of course, you know, story is really important for us, these attributes can also be part of dialogues. So as an example, if you have a high intelligence attribute, sometimes there might be choices popping up in dialogues where maybe, you can now ask a question that would be more for a netrunner. And only you, who has that intelligence attribute, can ask that question. And then, of course, on top of that, you choose your life path, which, you can, as an example, be a nomad who starts the game outside of Night City and has to try and get into the city, or as a corpo, or as a street kid. And all of these change the beginning of the game, but then throughout the game, you now also get your choices in dialogues for your specific life path. So you can even, role play your character even deeper. And then to come back to vehicles, we do at the moment not plan right now the kind of customization, you would expect from, let's say, Need for Speed Underground, where you choose specifically the tires of your car. But it is important for us that, of course, players do have freedoms with how they, as an example, interact with vehicles. So, of course, if you have a really high body attribute and you're really strong, you can rip open doors from driving cars, steal them, or if you have a lot of, engineering skill, you can steal cars that might be locked. But, those don't belong to you. But, of course, you can own your own vehicles, and you can own different vehicles. You can buy them, or, of course, maybe, sometimes in the story, in quests, you might get different kind of cars as your reward.
Go to the cars for a minute. There is, at least what I noticed, you can steal a car that's like a parked car. You can do that. But if you're trying to steal a car from like a person driving, is there like a secret dice roll or something behind the scenes? Because sometimes it's like, nah, dude, you can't steal from this guy. He's like, I'm locking the doors. No. Do you have a chance of completely failing that?
Yeah, because it basically depends on your RPG skills. So as an example, the better the lock of the car, of course, it has a higher, let's say, body attribute you need. And body can, as an example, mean how strong you are. And if you're a really strong, leveled up character, you can just rip open that door. But if you're weak, that lock will hold, so you can't get in.
Cool. And we had some other questions. Just get to some of these. Are there pets in the game?
That's pretty granular as far as attributes.
So at the moment, we're not planning to have pets, because the thing is, this actually has a big story reason. So not without revealing too much, animals are actually quite rare in the world of Cyberpunk. So there's actually a few dialogues where you talk about, birds were the first ones to go. So this is actually part of the story that only, let's say, the rich, like the super rich in Night City, can even afford to have pets, and they're like a pretty expensive commodity.
Cool. Does it have photo mode? I think you've already mentioned this before in previous things, but I'll ask again, does it have photo mode?
Yes, absolutely. Cyberpunk has a photo mode. Because, of course, we're saying with our customization and with the way that you can customize your character, with the way that you can use gear, because, of course, you can get cool t-shirts, jacket, sunglasses, whatever. You can make your character look the way you want.
Lady Reaver, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Maybe you can get robot pets. You can get that spider robot. That's pretty awesome.
What about flight vehicles, or vehicles that are not specifically cars on the ground?
So there are vehicles like that in the game. They're called AVs. And again, they're actually only for the super upper echelon of people in Night City. So you, as a mercenary, you will not be able to fly them yourself.
No.
But it might
Spazmuffin, your V cannot has cat. That was what they were saying. There's no
Cool.
There's no pets in the game.
The next question is, how vertical is the game? Like, how much verticality is there? When we see these tall buildings, having played it, I don't know the extent, and so I'm going to rely on you for this. But having played through it, that was one of my first questions too. I kept seeing all the tall buildings. I kept seeing all these examples.
Yeah, so
of
some journalists have started posting their previews. I'm not sure if they come with gameplay.
But is it just?
But
that's Neon, so I'm gonna jump into the conversation there.
Hey,
how are you doing?
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time.
They are showing gameplay in the Game Awards Twitch.
Yeah, I'm on there right now.
And I was about to. Sorry, please go on.
Go ahead.
I was about to explain the story of the Soul Killer because someone asked, and I said, well, okay, I'm going to explain it in a place where everybody is together so everybody can hear it.
And apparently we're on with the Mad Queen Show and Neon Arcade.
What's up?
How's it going, you two?
Yes, and Acidinity from the Triple S League.
Hello to everybody on Neon's and Mad Queen streams. Yeah, we're live on my channel as well. So tell me, how much were your minds blown on a scale of just slight fracture to, it's all over the block?
I think I know how did Johnny Silverhand get into the chip.
Oh, you do you? Are you gonna share?
Yes, but I'm not sure it's sharing because usually when I make crazy theories like that, I tend to be right, and then if I'm right, it's a spoiler.
Well,
but I'm not sure if the moment they showed Adam Smasher, I thought, yeah, I know.
He looks like that guy from Deus Ex. He looks like that boss from Deus Ex, like aesthetically.
Yeah, with his big logos of Arasaka.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna look a little different, but he looked cool.
Which channel did you say they're showing gameplay on now?
It's the Game Awards one on Twitch.
On the Game Awards channel. All right.
Well, they're showing the Braindance thing now, so I think you might have missed the. They might play it again, but.
Well, the part of the beginning was Jackie dealing with some cops, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, they showed a bit of the Nomad playthrough, infiltrating a bunker of some sort in the Badlands.
Yeah, but they also showed that in the trailer that they showed before. So.
But they showed the full deal. Well, not the full deal, but a little bit more.
A little bit more deal.
Well, I'll switch over to that, and if it looks like it's something interesting, I'll put it up on my stream here.
Where's LKM? Is he joining?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he got carried away and.
Oh, he's here. He just.
Maybe he fainted.
Join, Last Known Meal. We are waiting for you.
That trailer was 10 out of 10, though. God damn.
Oh
that was amazing.
That trailer.
That was. I mean, trailers are trailers, right? But like they're always, they're
just
made,
the vibe, like
they're made
the world.
They're made to look really good. They're made to sell the game, but.
Did you know that it was in-game footage?
Yeah, that's in-game.
Oh, I believe that for sure. I believe that. I'm
in-game.
not saying it was cinematic. But yeah, it really did give us I don't know. It was.
Hello.
Because we have there's
Last Known Meal is here.
Hello.
All
right, don't let me interrupt you. Just continue.
Well, because we have a lot of surrounding context. Yes, I agree that it did give us, a huge vibe, or a really good vibe and a really good picture of what the game is all about.
The car chase sequences were, damn,
amazing.
Are you guys watching this right now on the?
And even just the scene of driving through the Badlands.
Yeah.
Even though it's in first person, I hate first person driving, but I was like, this is really cool. Like this is.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I need to answer someone in the chat before I finish it. What a disappointment! I was expecting the gameplay they promised. Dude, you're watching it on the screen right now. What are you complaining about?
Yes, and I'm gonna bring that up on for my listeners. I'm gonna bring that up now. I've got.
I mean, you're literally watching the gameplay. That's the gameplay they promised. You're watching it. Sorry, but I mean, it's like what?
Was this with RTX? Do we know?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we don't know.
Because the lighting is.
Lighting's really amazing. I mean,
It's changed a bit, almost. A little tiny bit, like a different vibe.
Well, it's also at nighttime, these sequences. So,
yeah. So what'd you think?
I hope we can turn off all that lens flare and stuff, though. That's not my jam.
Yeah. I'm sure this game will have a bunch of accessibility options because this looks like quite disorienting for people who get sick from first-person perspective.
Oh yes. Are you saying the same thing that I'm saying right now?
What is this with the dude boxing himself and doing the exact like
clone?
The clone that is doing the exact moves he's doing.
Right now on the screen?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Training that looks like training. And shall I remind you that cloning exists in this universe? Biotechnica invented it in 2020.
Yes, but I just mean like how are they doing the exact same thing at the same time? Are they like linked by those things on their heads or
twins?
No, you never practice martial arts?
Yeah, I have.
This is a normal thing, like the katas that everybody does the same movements at the same time.
It says they installed neural oscillation synth.
Neural oscillation synth. Okay, I figured it was something like that. Yeah.
One person, two bodies. Yeah, they are clones.
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
That's why they're doing.
Is that a Tiger Claws logo in the back?
Yes, yes, and they live in Kabuki. This place that at the beginning we had no idea what it meant, and we were going crazy. Do you remember these images at CDPR studio? That one said Kabuki, and we didn't know what it was, and we went crazy.
Okay. I don't remember that actually.
So we didn't see this earlier. So
Mafquina, you're going to do a deep dive. I'm going to do a really deep dive.
Did we see this?
Super deep.
I don't remember.
What do you think about Melee?
It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell.
Well, I'm going to put a little law in here. Who are the Tiger Claws? The Tiger Claws is a Japanese booster gang. Please don't confuse it with the Yakuza, because they have absolutely nothing to do. The only thing they have in common is that they are both Japanese. The Yakuza is a mafia, and the Tiger Claws, they are a booster gang, which is not the same. They are thought to be backed up by Arasaka, and this was a rumor on the 2020s, and they are very protective of the Japanese community on Night City. The fact that we saw the Tiger Claws, and we saw the dragons in this lovely image of some Chinese celebration that they posted on Twitter. Do you remember? Do you know what image I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. The Chinese.
I believe. Sorry.
The one that they posted yesterday with the dragons.
Yes.
Dragon Ball Festival. Yeah.
This poster of the blue dragons and the pink tigers leads me to believe that we're going to see two different factions of Arasaka fighting. No, it's not the Bakafu, the Princess faction, and the Steel Dragons, the rebel faction of Arasaka. I believe that they're going to fight in the game. And I'm taking for granted that Alam Smasher is with the Princess faction for sure. But for sure. Because he used to work for Kei Arasaka, so now he works for his daughter. Michiko.
He's so resilient. He's still alive.
Saburo?
No,
Adam.
Adam.
Oh yes, Adam.
Oh, look, this is the afterlife. This is the bar.
Yeah.
Nice.
The afterlife, yes. Where did you get more footage, Tren? They are on Twitch. We're seeing more footage on Twitch. It's not mine. I didn't play it.
Schwab.
Agreed. I need a katana. You will have a katana.
This is from.
So yes, Please go on, Flo.
Oh no, I was just saying this. What we're seeing on the screen right now is on the Game Awards Twitch channel.
Then more law. I'm going to give you more law. The character in the left, everybody knows Jackie. Hello, Jackie. First, they said back in the day, in the trailer that we were shown past the 3, where Jackie dies, that most likely this is something that is going to be directly related with a decision we take. So maybe we can avoid him dying. And he used to hang out with a booster gang that is called the Valentinos. And who are the Valentinos? So Valentinos used to be a booster gang, a poster gang that posed after an actor called Rodolfo Valentino, that in the first days of sound films and the last days of silent films, he was like the sex, what's the name of it? The most sexy actor. What, it has a name. Sex star? I can't remember. He was like the sex icon per excellence of cinema. So the Valentinos were a booster gang that their only interest was to flirt with the most attractive people of Night City, and that's it. That's the only thing they did, and they weren't especially dangerous for anybody unless you were married to a bimbo. So after the Fourth Corporate War, with the reconstruction and the expansion of Night City, one of the problems that Night City had is the lack of police. And this provoked that a lot of booster gangs changed a lot and started to be the guardians of their community. So the Valentinos turned from people that were only interested in flirting into the guardians of the Latino community of Night City. And apparently, Jackie left the Valentinos because it was his mother or his grandmother that didn't want him to go around and dealing with the gang. Am I talking alone?
No. Sorry, I was looking at the gameplay.
We didn't think you were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you were still talking, but also there was a lot of comments about the hair in my chat here, and yes, that was very, was very impressive. The hair physics.
No,
there.
it moves. Huh. True. They really upped the game, honestly. Like when it comes to graphics, they look more optimized with light than they were before. Like even the All Foods factory has changed. Did you see that? A couple of snippets.
Yeah.
Where Royce comes out, like the back door has been
Yeah,
closed, the
yeah.
garage. So I think they changed the location.
Did that look better or worse than the 48 minutes? It was like a 2-second thing. It looked different. I guess different is the only way.
It looked darker.
I'd have to watch it side by side.
Yeah, it looked a little bit darker.
Even the lighting in each window is like unique. It's not like the same warmth and. Jeez, it just looks so alive.
I just realized one thing. You have a Times Square marquee. They didn't put it in the other gameplay. It was only a hat with a Kiroshi without the name, and now they put the name top of the screen. It's a Times Square marquee.
Oh, nice.
This was one of my favorite cyber when I played Cyberpunk 2020. When you played video games, this kind of thing became common because Times Square is an implant that goes with your Kiroshi and that showed you maps and that showed you information that managed the phone calls that you were doing without hands. And I always called the hat of Cyberpunk 2077 the Times Square. And now now they put the name. I don't remember them putting it in previous gameplays.
Is that a stock ticker at the bottom right too? If you're a corpo, this is the corpo playthrough, right?
Yeah, it is. We're gonna be able to invest.
That's funny. Yeah, I wonder if that plays into the gameplay mechanics or if that's just
Petrochem, Arasaka. I guess Arasaka is on a downfall at the moment. And there was one more thing.
I wonder if you like
Militech?
attack Arasaka.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if you can affect the value of the companies in the game somehow. Really change the dynamics, the power I wonder if that reflects the power dynamics of the world.
Well, there is a question that a lot of people were asking. What if the end of the game is the Fifth Corporate War? And it would it would be funny if the Fifth Corporate War is between Arasaka and Arasaka. The two different branches of Arasaka fighting the Fifth Corporate War. That would be very interesting. That's not even a theory, that's a thought.
This soon? In the first game?
Is this real game? Yes, it's real game. What was your question, please, again?
Who, man?
Who? Someone make the question, and I interrupt you to answer.
Oh no, I thought like the Fifth Corporate War would be, I don't know, maybe too soon for the first game. I'm assuming if they are going to do more sequels to this.
Well, actually, the CEO, the joint CEO of the project, Mr. Adam Kaczynski, said recently that we shall not expect only 2 expansions. As we had 2 expansions of The Witcher 3, we're constantly saying we're probably 2 expansions. He said, well, maybe there are more. Maybe there are more.
How'd you guys feel about the anime announcement, the Netflix Edge Runners?
Yeah, I'm excited.
That sounded really awesome, and it's from a studio that I like.
Trigger, I've never heard of them.
I have a question because sorry, I interrupted you again. It's something I do all the time. My apologies. Please go on.
No, it's disappointing we have to wait 2 more years for the anime, but that's
but that's good. They're taking their time. It means like the animation is gonna be nice.
Now, what about the Braindance though? That I was blown away by that.
It's much bigger.
Who was fucking right? Who was fucking right? Who was
but that
right?
big?
Get up to me.
That deep? Analyze the audio?
Well, can you go around the whole city once you're in that Braindance screen, or is it
I
just
doubt it. I think you can only interact with things that the recorder picked up, and so unless you're linked to other recorders somewhere.
So like if you're moving through free space, you'd get an invisible wall or something? Like how would that, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
but,
probably, and it would actually. That's one case where an invisible wall would actually make sense in a game. Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to work more or less like the detective mode in the Arkham Knight. It sounds to me it had some sort of wall, and if you went outside, you lost the detective mode. It's not like it was a physical wall, but I guess that if you go outside the Braindance, you will go to blackness because this hasn't been recorded. You have only a radius of action of things.
But I imagine there's a limit to how far outside of it you can go. I mean, maybe they just let you walk forever and never find your way back.
So sorry. I was mute. I muted you unwillingly. I am so sorry.
I thought the Braindance was just okay. Like, I understand the implications of it, and I think it could be really cool, but the way they showed it just seemed like a kind of like a Karoshi eye scan kind of deal, you know? Like, I think they should have shown a bigger, maybe like a Braindance in an open market or something, and really just go around and check everything out. In an isolated convenience store, it seemed like there was only a handful of things to scan.
Well, I think that was tutorial mode. That's probably the first Braindance that we do. And,
okay, fair enough.
It was showing, you know, that's what she was explaining. Like, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. So I imagine there will be bigger ones.
Yeah.
Well, what about playing lore with Braindance? I hope this wasn't a theory. This is a wish, and I've been putting candles to Superman, which is the only deity I believe in. But what about playing lore in using the same game mechanic? Well, for instance, imagine using the same game mechanic to play, to play the lore, somebody should have recorded it. But if you can go back to the 4th, maybe you can find out what exactly and in detail what happened to Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. It would be really cool if you could use this mechanic to explore the history of the world. Now, when did Braindance become a technology? Like, when was it invented, Mad Queen?
In 2005, Braindance, it was parallel to the invention of the net. The way of working is quite similar. Because you plug yourself, you use an interface plug to plug yourself into the net and to plug yourself in Braindance.
Okay, so it was around during the 4th Corporate War and all of that stuff. Yeah. So
it was already quite popular.
That's awesome. I wonder if you can like play as Johnny Silverhand for part of it. Like, in the past.
Well, I think that if you go back, you will play as a member of the Black Ops team and not the Silverhand. Because if you play a Silverhand, you can't see him.
Right, but now here's another question. Could they be? Could you have free play in a Braindance? Because you know what they showed was just okay. There's a preset recording. You're not really in control of the character. You're just sort of experiencing the recording. And then you can pull out into, you know, sort of that out-of-body mode and look around. But I wonder if there's like a modified mode where you can play as a character and interact, like where they may turn it into a simulation. Is that something in Cyberpunk lore? Is that something they could add in?
Yes, because you have in one hand this kind of Braindance that is like a film and you only see it, and then you also have video games that are interactive and are in Braindance format.
So if one of the Black Ops guys from the 4th Corporate War recorded it, you know, was wearing a recorder, then you could take that and you could modify it into like a simulation, an interactive simulation. That'd be really awesome.
Well, it was said in the law. Well, first, in Cyberpunk Red, when the core rulebook is out, we're going to learn a lot of things about the 4th that haven't been explained yet. So we're not only going to have new law of what happened after the 4th, but also during the 4th. And one of the things that we learned from the Jumpstart kit is that the President of the United States had spies on Militech. So maybe someone was recording to inform the President Elizabeth Kress. This could be the environment to create a Braindance about it.
And it makes sense. like from a lore perspective and history perspective.
Not
But I
only
mean-
that, they said that the chip belonged to Arasaka.
Oh God, we're gonna have Arasaka on our back again. God damn it! But they went really deep, like with just how we're gonna be able to find different info, going from like Victor. And I mean, if we have lore about Victor, I'm sure we're gonna have lore about maybe even Adam Smasher and Johnny, Morgan Blackhand. Who knows? Like, yeah, Morgan, but.
If Adam Smasher is in the game, I have no proof but no doubt either that the Black Hand is going to be.
Yeah.
What I have doubts is if is Anastasia Lucchesi is going to be in the game. Anastasia Lucchesi, for those who don't know, is the granddaughter of Antonio Lucchesi, who was the co-founder of Militech, and she was the most deadly of Militech's operatives. And she was the right hand of Morgan Blackhand during the Fourth Corporate War.
I mean, Adam has to say what happened with Morgan. Didn't they jump? Was that they jumped, right? They jumped out from the window.
It's not clear. It is not clear what happened because they were fighting when the bomb, when the mini nuke exploded, and the buildings were starting to fall because they were in the top of the buildings. The nuke was a mini nuke, and it exploded in the center. So the buildings were falling, and the Militech operatives were being evacuated with a Militech AV. But what happened to Adam Smasher and Black Hand is not known.
Oh, well, we know what happened
wait,
with Adam.
wait. IGN.
What IGN? Some are also saying that there are some leaks about fighting. No, it's just probably the gameplay you saw. No.
Do you guys like that Arasaka mega building? That thing was
Pavel
huge.
Sasko is live in IGN.
Who?
Pavel Sasko.
IGN?
IGN. Put IGN.
Can we even watch that?
Yeah, I think it'll get claimed now.
Yeah, it's gonna get claimed.
I'm going to mute you guys. My apologies.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna dip here and start working on some of these videos. There's a lot to go over, so you guys have a lovely rest of the day.
All right, you too, guys. It's been fun.
It's been amazing, actually, and only to know that in a couple of weeks we're getting a second episode.
Oh, they already confirmed a couple weeks?
Yes. Second episode in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Oh, did they give it? Did they give an actual day?
Nope. Holly just said in the end, we'll see you in the next couple of weeks with a second episode, and I guess they're going to cover like parts of. Yeah. It's gonna be a constant thing.
That's close. That's way more frequent than I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be like a once a month thing.
Oh no, that's why I'm happy so much.
Dope. All right, guys, take it easy.
All right, see you guys.
All
right. And for those of you left on the Triple S League stream, I'm not going to re-stream the IGN stream because, again, that could get claimed. But I think I'll call it here as far as the stream. But I'm going to jump back into our community, like our Watch Together channel on the Discord server. We can watch the IGN stream there, so I'm going to do that. But thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to slam that like button. And leave your comments below if you're watching after the fact. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And yes, you'll be hearing from us soon. I'll be sitting down with Cyb to go through a lot of this stuff. So it's going to be awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. We will talk to you later.